Welcome to Soulful English. My name is Michael. I'm glad you are here. Because today, I want to share with you something that changed my life, not just as an English learner, but as a person searching for growth, courage, and a better future. Let me ask you a direct question. How many English words do you know? 100? 500? Maybe 1,000? Or maybe you studied for years. But when you try to speak, your mind suddenly becomes empty. You want to say something, but the words hide from you like shadows disappearing in the dark. Have you ever felt that? The silence when your brain freezes, the embarrassment when others are waiting for you to talk. But nothing comes out. That moment is painful. I know, because I lived through it. There was a time when I thought English was impossible for me. I read books, I memorized lists, I repeated words again and again. But when I opened my mouth, the words disappeared like smoke. I felt small, ashamed, and weak. I wondered if maybe I just wasn't smart enough. Maybe English was for other people, not for me, and I almost gave up. But here's the truth I want you to hear. Giving up is never the solution. What I discovered later is that success in English is not about talent, not about genius, not about luck. It is about something much simpler. Something so simple that it almost feels like a secret hidden in plain sight. I remembered 1,000 words, not by magic, not by luck, but by practice, by persistence, by a simple system that any person, yes, even you, can follow. And when I say 1,000 words, I don't just mean words written on paper. I mean words that lived in me. Words that became part of my thinking. Words I could use in real conversations without fear. Those 1,000 words opened doors I never thought I could walk through. But before I tell you how I remembered them, let's pause and talk about something deeper. Because this is not just about words. This is about life. This is about dreams. Tell me, what do you want? Do you want freedom? The freedom to travel anywhere, to understand anyone, to stand in front of strangers and not feel small? Do you want opportunity, the job, the promotion, the chance to study abroad? Do you want connection, to meet people, to share your ideas, to build relationships without fear? Of course you do. We all want that. But here is the harder question. What did you do today to move closer to that dream? Did you practice? Did you read one page? Did you listen to 5 minutes of English? Or did you tell yourself, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow? Dreams are not built tomorrow. They are built today. And the truth is, you don't need to learn 10,000 words to start living your dream. You need to start with 1,000. Because 1,000 words is enough to understand most conversations. 1,000 words is enough to travel, to watch movies, to talk to people, to feel alive in English. That is why my story today is about 1,000 words. Not because it is easy, but because it is possible. Let me take you back to the beginning. I was like you, frustrated, tired, lost. I remember sitting at my desk one night. My books were open. My notes were everywhere, and I felt so heavy inside. I had studied for hours, but I couldn't remember anything. I closed my eyes and whispered, maybe I'm just not meant to do this. That night was my breaking point. But sometimes your breaking point is also your turning point. Because in that silence, something inside me spoke. A small voice, but clear. It said, what if you try one more time? What if you stop doing what doesn't work and start doing something simple? The next day, I decided to change everything. Instead of memorizing random lists, I chose to focus on the words that truly mattered. I asked myself, what are the words people use every day? What are the words that appear in books, movies, conversations? I didn't want complicated vocabulary. I wanted power words, words that give me 80% of English life. And so I created my list. At first it was 100 words, then 200, then 500, until finally, I reached 1,000. But here's the key. I didn't just write them down. I lived with them. I spoke them out loud. I used them in sentences. I connected them to emotions. If the word was hope, I thought of the day I almost gave up but chose to keep going. If the word was fear, I remembered the silence in my first English conversation. Every word became a piece of my story, and that's why they stayed with me. Words are not just sounds. They are feelings. They are memories. They are life. And slowly, I started to notice something amazing. Conversations that once felt impossible started to make sense. Movies that once felt like noise started to open their meaning. Books that once looked like walls turned into doors. All because of 1,000 words. But let me be honest with you, it wasn't easy. There were mornings when I didn't want to get out of bed. There were nights when my eyes were tired. My brain felt heavy, and my heart whispered, "Just stop. Nobody cares if you learn English or not." But I had made a decision. And once you make a true decision, there is no turning back. I told myself, even if I fail 100 times, I will stand up 101 times. I started with small steps. 10 words a day. Not 100, not 50, just 10. I wrote them on cards. I repeated them. I carried them everywhere. On the bus. In the park. Waiting in line. I whispered them to myself like secret prayers. And I discovered something powerful. When you repeat a word in different places, with different feelings, it begins to live inside you. It is no longer a stranger. It becomes part of you. One day, I was walking home when I saw a child running with a balloon. The balloon slipped from his hand and floated into the sky. The boy cried, "No!" In that moment, the word lose came to my mind. I whispered to myself, "He lost the balloon." Suddenly, I wasn't just learning a word, I was living it. Every street, every person, every sound became my teacher. I realized that English wasn't something outside of me. It was already around me, waiting for me to notice. And that's when the breakthrough happened. Instead of memorizing, I started connecting. If the word was strong, I thought of my mother working 2 jobs to support us. If the word was dream, I thought of myself speaking English with confidence one day. If the word was journey, I thought of the long road I was walking. Every word carried a story, and every story carried me forward. The funny thing is, people around me started to notice. A friend once said, "Michael, you are different. You speak with more confidence. You use words I never heard you say before." I smiled because I knew something had changed. The words were no longer locked in my notebook. They were alive in my voice. But let me tell you the truth. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. There were days I failed. There were days I forgot the words. There were days I wanted to throw my cards in the trash. But I learned something important. Failure is not the end. Failure is feedback. Every time I forgot a word, I asked myself, why did I forget? Did I not use it enough? Did I not connect it to my life? And then I tried again. Slowly, 10 words became 50. 50 became 100. And then, after months, the day arrived when I counted my list. 1,000. 1,000 words that I could understand, speak, and live with. It felt like climbing a mountain at the top. I looked back and realized the hardest part was never the words. The hardest part was believing that I could do it. And here's the lesson I want you to take with you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to remember every grammar rule. You don't need to learn 10 new words every hour. What you need is consistency. Small steps, repeated daily. Become mountains, and those mountains change your life. Imagine this. Right now, you may know only 200 words. That feels small. But if you learn just 10 new words a day, in 10 days you will know 100 more. In 3 months, 300 more. In 1 year, 1,000 more. Can you see it? Your future self is waiting, standing strong, speaking with confidence, all because of the small choices you make today. And let me ask you again, what did you do today? Did you move closer to your dream, or did you step back? Because time does not wait. Time is the only thing you cannot buy back. Every day you waste is a piece of your future thrown away. But every day you invest, even 5 minutes, is a seed that will grow into a tree of opportunity. I remember the first time I used my 1,000 words in a real conversation. I was nervous, my hands shaking, my heart beating fast. But as I spoke, the words came, not perfectly, but naturally. The other person smiled. I understood them. They understood me, and in that moment, I realized something beautiful. Language is not just communication. It is connection. English is not just grammar. It is freedom. Those 1,000 words were not just vocabulary. They were keys, opening the door to a new life. And if I could do it, you can too. Don't tell yourself, I'm too old. Don't tell yourself, I'm too busy. Don't tell yourself, I'm not smart. Those are lies. The truth is, every human brain is built to learn. Every human heart is built to dream. The only question is, will you take the first step? But the journey did not stop at 1,000 words. That number was only the beginning. Because once I reached that mountain, I looked ahead and saw new mountains waiting for me. And I realized something. Life itself is like language learning. You climb, you sweat, you fall, you rise. And then when you think you have reached the top, you discover there is more. But instead of fear, I felt excitement. Because now I had proof. I had conquered one mountain, so I could conquer another. Do you know what happens when you learn 1,000 words? You begin to see patterns. Words are not isolated islands. They are part of families, part of rivers flowing into each other. For example, if you know the word create, suddenly creative and creation feel familiar. If you know success, you begin to understand successful and succeed. The more you learn, the easier it becomes. It's like pushing a heavy rock. At first, it is painful. But once it starts rolling, momentum carries it forward. And that momentum changed everything for me. I stopped studying English like a student and started living it like a lifestyle. I listened to music in English. Not because it was homework, but because I wanted to feel the rhythm of the words. I watched movies, not with fear, but with curiosity, pausing, rewinding, repeating. I read short stories aloud, hearing the sound of my own voice, slowly building confidence, and each small practice added up. Drops of water became an ocean. One night, I remember clearly, I was sitting in my room listening to a speech by a famous leader in English. I understood not every word, but most of it, and tears came to my eyes. Not because the speech was sad, but because I realized, I am finally part of this world. I don't need translation. I don't need someone to explain. I understand with my own ears, my own heart. That moment was freedom. That moment was victory. But here's what I want you to know. The road to that moment is full of battles. The biggest battle is not with the language. It is with yourself. Laziness will attack you. Fear will whisper in your ear. Doubt will shout, you can't do it. But your job is not to silence them. Your job is to keep walking anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward even when fear is heavy on your shoulders. So here's a simple practice I want you to try. Tonight, before you sleep, write down 10 words you want to remember. Not random words. Choose words you will actually use tomorrow. Write them on paper. Speak them aloud. And before you close your eyes, imagine yourself using them. Then tomorrow, use at least 3 of them in real life. Tell a friend. Write a sentence. Whisper it to yourself while cooking. Do this every day for 30 days. And watch what happens. I promise you, by the end of 1 month, you will not only know the words, you will own them. And let me remind you, the brain remembers what is emotional. If you connect words to your feelings, to your stories, to your life, they will never leave you. Don't just learn happy. Remember the time you laughed with your best friend until your stomach hurt. Don't just learn angry. Remember the fire in your chest when someone lied to you. Don't just learn hope. Remember the moment you believed in your dream again after failing. That is how words become permanent. The more I practiced this way, the more powerful I felt. My confidence grew. Not because I knew every word, but because I knew enough to survive, enough to express myself, enough to feel alive in English. And once you feel alive in English, you never go back. It becomes part of your identity, part of your future, part of your destiny. But here's the emotional truth. You only get one life. Time is running every second. Every day you wait is a day lost forever. If you want freedom, if you want opportunity, if you want connection, you must act now. Not next week, not next year, now. Because every step you take today becomes a foundation for your tomorrow. And if you keep delaying, one day you will wake up and realize years have passed and nothing has changed. I don't want that for you. I want you to feel the victory I felt when I looked back and realized I had remembered 1,000 words. I want you to know the pride of speaking without fear, the joy of understanding without translation, the power of connecting with people in their own language. Because that joy is waiting for you. It is not far away. It is one decision away. So tonight, make a choice. Not a wish, not a hope, a choice. The choice to stop complaining, to stop doubting, to stop waiting. The choice to start. Start with one word, then 2, then 10. Start with one sentence, then 1 page, then 1 story. Because when you start, something magical happens. Momentum grows. Doors open. Your future changes. And one day, you will look back and say, this was the day everything began. There came a night when everything I had practiced was tested. I was invited to a gathering where people from different countries came together. They spoke fast, they laughed in English, and for a moment, the old fear returned. My heart began to beat faster. My hands grew cold. I asked myself, am I really ready? What if I forget everything? What if they laugh at me? But then, I remembered the 1,000 words. I remembered the nights repeating them aloud. I remembered the mornings writing them down. I remembered the emotions I had tied to each word. And I told myself, this is not about being perfect. This is about being present. So I opened my mouth. At first, my voice was shaky. My sentences simple. But then, something happened. The words began to flow. Not all of them. Not perfectly. But enough. People understood me. They nodded. They smiled. They answered back. Suddenly, I wasn't just watching the conversation. I was inside it. And that night, I felt something powerful rising inside me. It wasn't just English. It was victory. Victory over fear, victory over doubt. Victory over the small voice that once told me, you can't. Because now, I could. Let me be clear with you. That victory wasn't about grammar. It wasn't about knowing fancy vocabulary. It was about courage. Courage to use the words I had. Courage to keep going even when my voice trembled. And that is the real secret. The words only matter if you use them. 1,000 words in your notebook are nothing. But 100 words in your mouth. Alive. Breathing. Connecting. That is power. Think about your life right now. How many times have you stayed silent because you were afraid of making mistakes? How many opportunities have you lost because you told yourself, I'm not ready? How many doors have remained closed because you never dared to knock? My friend, you don't have a second life. This is the one you get. And every day you hide. You are wasting the gift you were given. The truth is harsh, but it will set you free. Time is killing you. Every day that passes is one less day you have. You cannot buy yesterday back. You cannot pause the clock. So you must choose. Will you let time kill your dreams? Or will you rise and fight for them? When I realized this truth, I stopped waiting. I stopped telling myself, maybe tomorrow. I started living like every word I learned was a step closer to freedom. And slowly, those steps carried me to places I once thought impossible. Conversations with strangers became friendships. Job interviews became opportunities. Books became mentors. Movies became teachers. And my life expanded. All because I remembered 1,000 words. And here's the fire I want to put in your heart. You can do the same. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It will never come. Don't wait until you feel ready. You will never feel fully ready. The only way to be ready is to start. Today. Right now. With what you have. With who you are. Let me repeat this, because it could change your life. You don't need 10,000 words to feel free. You don't need perfect grammar to connect with people. You don't need to be a genius to succeed. You need one thing: persistence. The courage to keep moving forward when it's hard. The discipline to practice when no one is watching. The faith to believe that tomorrow can be better if you act today. And once you understand this, the fear loses its power. The doubt becomes smaller. The excuses fade away. Because you realize that your dream doesn't care about your excuses. Your dream doesn't care about your fear. Your dream only cares about one thing: whether you will show up. So here is my challenge to you. Tonight, before you sleep, decide on your 1,000 words. Not all of them at once. Just 10 to begin. 10 words you will carry with you tomorrow. 10 words that will become your tools, your weapons, your keys. And then repeat this process, again and again, until one day, you look back and see that you too have conquered the mountain. And when that day comes, when you open your mouth and speak with confidence, when you listen and truly understand, when you connect with another human being in English without fear, you will feel what I felt that night. You will feel alive. You will feel free. You will feel unstoppable. When I think back on my journey, I realize something important. The 1,000 words were never the real goal. The goal was transformation. Because learning those words changed not only my English, it changed me. It gave me discipline where before there was laziness. It gave me courage where before there was fear. It gave me hope where before there was despair. And that transformation is worth more than any certificate, any test score, any textbook. So let me share the truth I learned. Words are not just language. Words are seeds. When you plant them in your heart and water them with daily practice, they grow into trees that shape your life. The right words can change how you think, how you act, how you live. Imagine planting words like courage, hope, freedom, strength. If these words live in your heart, can you imagine the kind of person you will become? And here is the lesson. English is not only about communicating with the world, it is about transforming yourself. Every word you learn is a step toward a stronger version of you. Every sentence you practice is a mirror of your persistence. Every conversation you attempt is a victory against fear. So when you say, "I want to learn English," what you are really saying is, "I want to grow. I want to change. I want to live a bigger life." But I know what you might be thinking. Michael, it sounds inspiring, but it's still so hard. And yes, it is hard. But let me ask you, isn't staying the same also hard? Isn't living with regret hard? Isn't hiding in silence when others are speaking hard? Life will always be hard. The question is, which hard will you choose? The hard that destroys you, or the hard that builds you? I chose the second. I chose the pain of practice over the pain of regret. And it gave me freedom. And I want the same for you. Because here is the unshakable truth. Dreams don't care about excuses. They don't wait for you to be ready. They don't listen when you say, "maybe tomorrow." They only ask one question. Will you show up today? So I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You wake up in the morning. And instead of fear, you feel confidence. You open a book in English. And instead of confusion, you feel excitement. You meet someone new, and instead of silence, you speak, you laugh, you connect, and you realize you are no longer the same person. You have grown, you have become free. That future is possible. It is not a fantasy. It is waiting for you, but it depends on the choices you make today. And that is why I am speaking to you right now. Not to entertain you, not to make you feel good for a few minutes, but to remind you of your power. Because deep inside, you already know what you must do. You already know the truth. Small steps, taken daily, create great change. So let me give you one final thought before we move to the end. Your dream does not care how long it takes. It only cares if you keep walking. Your dream does not care how many times you fail. It only cares if you rise again. Your dream does not care if others laugh at you, doubt you, or leave you. It only cares if you believe. And if you believe, if you persist, if you refuse to give up, then one day, you will stand where I stood. You will open your mouth, and English will flow, not perfectly, but beautifully, because it will be real, and you will know that the person you became in the process is far greater than the one who started. Remember this line: dreams don't care about reasons. They care about results, and the result is waiting for you. So here we are at the end of this story, but also at the beginning of yours. I remembered 1,000 words. But more than that, I remembered who I could become if I refused to give up. And now, it is your turn. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. Build discipline instead. Discipline is like the ground under your feet. Solid, reliable, unshakable. Don't wait for someone else to save you. Nobody is coming. This is your journey, your responsibility, your life. And don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. The only time you have is now, every day. The clock is ticking. Every day, you are either moving closer to your dream or further away. And when you stand at the end of your life, you will not regret the mistakes you made. You will regret the chances you never took. So take this chance. Take it today. Take it now. I want you to remember one powerful truth. Success is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is about persistence. It is about showing up every single day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when nobody is watching. That is how mountains are climbed. That is how lives are changed. That is how 1,000 words are remembered. So I leave you with a choice. You can turn off this video, go back to your old life, and let the days slip away. Or you can make a decision right here, right now, that you will no longer waste your time, your energy, your future. You will fight. You will rise. You will grow. And one day, you will speak English with confidence, live with freedom, and inspire others with your story. And if this message spoke to your heart today, I want you to join me on this journey. Subscribe to this channel, because here, we are not just learning English, we are building lives. Here, we don't give up, we rise again. Here, every video is not just a lesson, it is a step toward your freedom. So don't just watch. Take action. Pick up your notebook. Write down your first 10 words tonight. Practice them tomorrow. And come back, again and again, as we grow together. Because this is more than English. This is your destiny. My name is Michael, and this is Soulful English. Thank you for walking with me today. If you believe your future can be bigger, stronger, freer, don't just hope for it, build it. And if you need strength for the journey, you know where to find it. Right here, with us. So subscribe, stay with me, and keep moving forward, because your dream is waiting, and the world is waiting to hear your voice.